All right, welcome everybody. We're going to talk about the $1,875 trade. Now, if you didn't watch my video over the weekend, which was I put out Sunday, today's Monday, I talked about some data that came in on the weekend. I thought there'd be a pretty big move in the market, bearish move. Well, there you go. Not long after I did that video on Sunday, of course, the futures opened up at 5 o'clock on Sunday night. At some point there, I had a trade that was already either placed or somewhere right around that time. And you can see by the time we got to Monday morning, there's $1,875. The market really made a decent move down. And do want to share that with everybody. Again, I don't always share all my trades, but lately I've been sharing a couple trades. Had an opportunity to trade. I've been really busy, so I don't always get the chance to trade. And this is me using my service and making some really nice bank. So if you want to know about the service, you can stick around to the end of the video and I'll talk briefly about that. Let's move back over to the charts. All right, so here we are on the weekly chart. We'll do the daily and the trade of the day as well, which of course you already saw my personal trade, but the trade of the day will be a little bit more generic. I'll talk about just briefly how to make use of the service and indicators on the service that almost always show a trade at some point within the 23-hour period that futures are trading. Okay, and we'll talk about that as well. So weekly, daily, and trade of the day. So here we are on the weekly chart. You can see this is Monday. So this candlestick is just getting started for the week. The range for the week and the day so far are 51. And not surprised, to be honest with you. I think we'll continue to see the market pull back. And the daily, we'll see that there's a daily cycle low. It's not on this chart here because this is weekly. But what's interesting about the weekly is we're now sitting up here right around 82, which is pretty high for the weekly. I've seen higher, but this is pretty high. This is way up there. You got 74 way back here on August. We had 68 there. Over here, we got up to 79. And right now we're up to 80, almost 82. So not surprised to see the market stall and get ready to roll over. And check this out on the Big Daddy forecast, which is my own indicator. Hey, somebody's dinging me. Hey, how you doing? Big Daddy forecast, my own indicator. I've got some divergence logic in here. You can see these dots, and look at this dot right here. Just came up this week. Well, boom. Okay. Now, we don't see it on the SMI yet, but I'm going to assume, because this Big Daddy forecast is a little bit more accurate about movements in the market than the SMI. So I think we're going to potentially see some divergence dots show up here with the logic that's in the SMI. Maybe like next week. We'll see how it goes. But so far, we're starting to see signs of even the weekly getting ready to do the old ploppy plop and go south. All right. On the weekly chart, the next cycle low is approximately the week of January 14th. Okay, so let's switch over to the daily and we'll talk a little bit about that. All right, so here we are on the daily. Now, we've been talking about this divergence, or I've been talking about this divergence for quite a while. Look at this. Last maybe 2 weeks of trading, divergence has just been popping up left and right, both on the SMI and on the Big Daddy here on the daily as well. You can see the Big Daddy's been popping off divergence. The MACD's been very pinchy, trying to roll over. Looked like there was going to maybe have a little hiccup and go higher. Okay, I even put out to my members that, hey, this is going to kind of the make or break point. We're either going to do a blast off or a pullback. I think I did it like this yesterday. I put it out Sunday. I said we're either doing that or we're doing this, just because of the data that came in over the weekend. That's right, I do collect data over the weekend that affects the market. Or I should say, yeah, that's an accurate statement. It actually does impact the market. So, not surprised to see today had this pullback day of a range of 51. And as you saw, I made my sweet night $1,875 trade. That's a funny looking 5 overnight. And here it is in the daily for the cycle low on the daily. This is December 10th. Cycle low right here, smack daddy. Oh yeah, look at that. Now it's been very bullish. These last two minor cycles, these little green cycles. So we'll talk about that one and that one right there. I do things a little bit different than some other cycle analysis or analyzers, I guess we could call them. I'm not afraid to have cycles that aren't perfectly symmetrical, or I should say they don't divide perfectly one into another. I don't mind having some overlap in here. When I see patterns, I just go with it, and I'll put in multiple cycles if necessary. That's why you're seeing 3 green, yellow, and purple. Okay, because I want to take advantage of the market whenever I can. I don't like cycles that are too small, because then you start seeing the boogeyman and you start seeing something that isn't there. So this is pretty small as it is. This green cycle is 17 trading days, or what we call bars, 17 candlesticks basically. Okay, we don't like getting too much smaller on that. I've seen them down to maybe 12, 14, 15. Anything lower than that starts getting kind of funky. Though occasionally you do see them even down to 9, but that's just not very reliable, in my opinion. We start getting that crunchy. They're crunchy. So this is it right here, December 10th. I think that's where we're heading. Today is the 4th, and I think we're going to continue to see the market pull back a little bit here. I don't know. Let's see. What was the high? The high was 46, call it 46.08. I can see it's getting down to 45.08. I'm just going to keep it simple, 100 points. So here you are on this contract for the continuous contract right now for December. I can see it's getting down to 45.08. If it gets any lower than that, that's just icing on the cake, and we're getting more pullback, and that's great. But I expect at least 100 points. Okay, it could go 200, 150. We'll just see where this goes, and it could even be deeper than that. You know, it could get deeper. But my estimation right now is just kind of a smallish pullback, 100 to 200 points, somewhere in that area. All right. For my members, please be aware, for those that are trading futures, that the December contract for futures on both the micro and the mini expires, I think, the 15th. So that's only like 11 calendar days away. All right. I'm already trading the March contract, and that trade I showed early in this video, the $1,875, that was on the March contracts, because I wasn't sure if I was going to do kind of a long-term swing trade that could last maybe anywhere from a few days to maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and I didn't want to get caught in the December contracts expiring on me. So just be aware of that. Looking out a little bit further into this purple cycle is January 8th. Now this lines up with what we saw on the weekly chart, which you saw on there, you saw the week of January 14th. So pretty close. They're only about a week apart. And that tells me, let me look at this yellow one real quick. Yeah, that was on the 16th, this yellow one. I don't have it on there, but I'll put it on there. But that tells me that I think there's a decent chance for maybe even bigger decline than what we're going to see here on December 8th, out here in the second week of January. Okay, let me duplicate this. We're going to move it over here to the yellow one. Okay, we're going to change the color. We'll call it, we'll change it to yellow. I think this was the 16th, if I remember correctly. Bam. Yeah. Okay, so that's that cycle low. So somewhere in this area, first, second week of January, I think whatever this decline is here, coming down into here, you know, boom, bang, bing, maybe it does this. I think it'll be even deeper. So let's say this comes down to, what I say, let's see, about 45.08, we'll call it. Okay, let's just say it does that. So let's say it comes down, yeah, right in this area. Let's say it gets down to there. Then maybe gives us a good hard bounce, might even go above the 46.31. You know, maybe not, because it's not that far away. You're only talking about a month, maybe 5 weeks at the most. But maybe it gets up into there. Then I think it'll dive, maybe get down a little bit deeper. We'll see when we get there. I can see that coming down below the December 10th one. We just have to see how the market is and what the data has shown us. Okay, but the reason I say is because I see several cycles kind of bunching up over here, which often makes for a bigger decline. That one's December 11th. No, I'm sorry, January 3rd. Yeah, that one's January 3rd. It's a little green one here. Yeah, but these two are the ones I think stand out the most. Anyway, from January 3rd, yeah, all the way out to the 16th, this whole area here is kind of a hot spot, as far as I'm concerned, for market decline. All right. MACD looking very pinchy. I think the market's going to give it up, guys. I think it's going to give it up. I think we're going to see, and you know, it's a buying opportunity when it dips down to here. Okay, it's potentially a buying opportunity. We'll see how deep. If it goes super deep, though, that's see, I'm not convinced this is just going to be shallow. Here's the thing. It probably will be shallow, but I like the market to tell me. I just, I don't say like emphatically, absolutely positively, it's only going to be a 100, 200 point drop. That's it. Don't worry about it. It's going to be a bounce. I don't like doing that. I give my opinion because I don't give financial advice, as you saw at the very beginning of the disclaimer of this video. Okay, but my opinion is I don't like to do that because you never know. This is very elevated. And this right here says watch out. And the weekly says it too. See, the thing is both the weekly and the daily are elevated on the MACD and on the SMI, and stuff's going on there. So this decline, we could get, I don't know if everybody remembers, I think it was 2018. We had that massive December bomb. I remember it. That was a huge profit moneymaker. But anyways, we'll just see once this finishes up here, going through December into January, what's really going to go on, because the market's going to, we'll let the market tell us the story. Okay, now let's move to the trade of the day. Now, just real quick, I want to talk, if you didn't watch yesterday's video, Sunday video, you should really go back and watch it. Okay, that's going to tell you how I made the $1,875 trade. That's on the hourly chart. I looked at both the daily. On that video, I talk about the weekly, and I talk about the daily, the hourly, and that's how I made the trade based on those charts and some other data that I collect. Okay, the universe indicator, which I don't generally show to the public. I'm not going to show it in this video because it's really strictly for members. But in that video yesterday, I showed it just to kind of do a little promo and talk about how I made the trade. Okay. But you can see, look at the market last night, right? So I was, my trade was somewhere in this area, and then it was bombs away. All right. And I knew and we're going to switch to the 5-minute chart here for a second, talk about the trade of today, not just my trade. But even though there wasn't a Giddus Plus indicator specifically last night, I already knew what was going on up here. I had a really good feel for this area up here. Okay, it was very peaky. Okay, look at this, peaky. Okay, very peakish. So that plus other data really helped me make that trade. Again, go back and watch yesterday's video. Just look at my playlist, or Giddus. Just click on Giddus. I think when you're on YouTube, you'll see all the videos. Just click on videos. Make sure you click on videos, not shorts. Click on the videos and you'll see all the videos. I think it's yesterday's video should show up. Okay, it'll say something like, I think it says universe data and the market, something like that. Okay, let's look at the trade of the day on the 5-minute chart. Okay, sorry, not the 5-minute chart, the 15-minute chart. We're going to look at the 15-minute chart. This is really where the trade of the day was. Now, in markets, you kind of have to be prepared. If you want to make money and be profitable, you have to be prepared. And what I mean is, if you look at this Giddus Plus indicator right here, it happened at 10 o'clock last night. These are the futures. Now, a lot of people only trade intraday, and I get it because, they got other things going on at 10 o'clock at night on a Sunday night or any other night, and they're not trading. But this is one of the big reasons why I trade futures, okay? Because you can't trade options during the day. At night. You can only trade them intraday for the most part. So even though a lot of you might be trading options against the SPY, the SPX, there's other products you can trade those options on, but you can't do it overnight. And that's one of the downfalls to intraday only trading. Because what I'm going to tell you right now, the trade of the day for the members and for those that have futures accounts, because if you can trade, guys and gals, if you can trade options, most likely your account will let you trade futures. Okay, but this was 10 o'clock Sunday night. And you can see this Giddus Plus indicator said, hey, it thinks there's a trade here. Ba-ba-bum. Ba-ba-boom. And it's looking at some other stuff. And this is an algorithm in here. It's doing some stuff. Okay. And sure enough, the trade was there. So, you already saw what I did with my $1,875 trade. Well, guess what? This came into play a little bit. Okay, I didn't really need, for me personally, I didn't need to look at the 15-minute chart because I already had a really good feel for all this nonsense over here late on Friday. I knew this was just like, end of day nonsense. And I knew that I had a pretty good feel this was like not sustainable. But for members that want a little bit more guidance, and maybe don't have the goodest feel for market, I've been trading a long time, for many decades. If you don't have the goodest feel, well, guess what? The Giddus Plus indicator here It's giving you the trade of the day. Yes, it was last night, but well, like I said, if you want to make money, you need to be aware. Trade of the day, and bam, this thing just kept riding all the way to 9:45 Texas time. So we'd be about 10:45 East Coast, and whatever the rest of the nation. You can subtract your hours, or wherever you're out in the world. This, when you're looking at my videos, this is CST time. CST. All right. So that's the trade of the day right there on the 15-minute chart. Man, was that spot on or what? You know, the SMI started to roll over right in this area, right after this alert came in. Yeah, within whatever, probably, let's see. Let's see if we can get this to be a little bit bigger. Let's see what I can do. Can I make this big and ugly? Yes. So this came in at 10 o'clock, 2200 hours. And then by the time we got to about 2300 hours, an hour later. Okay, so on the 15-minute chart, it told you an hour ahead of time, get ready for a possible trade. And as soon as this rolled over at about 11 p.m. my time, take the trade. Beautiful. Just absolutely amazing. Okay. So that is your trade of the day right there, Schmack Daddy. The 5-minute chart had quite a few little, had some Get Us Plus indicator indications, I'd say, came up for trading, but I really liked this 15-minute chart because it was a single indication. It was really spot on. It was really practically at the peak of the last 24 hours, except for the open, right? It was just perfect timing and nice bank. All right. So I'm not going to tell you that you should only trade futures, because I know a lot of people do very well with options and other products. But if your broker allows you to trade futures, you should really look into it. It's just so much more versatile. That doesn't stop you from trading options during the middle of intraday if that's what you still want to do. Go do your thing, no problem. But if you don't have a futures account, guess what? You could not take advantage of an overnight market like I did. Okay? Now, overnight isn't like the end-all be-all. Sometimes overnight's garbage and it's just flat and dead and there's nothing going on. But other times it's primo, because it's, you know, the activity here is kind of docile, right? The candlesticks are very symmetrical, right? They're not very big. It's just kind of flowing. And then we get to pre-market over here. Pre-market USA starts getting pretty hot and heavy, and then you get intraday, right? See the three separate sessions, right? This is nighttime. This is kind of pre-market from like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning all the way to like 7 a.m. Again, this is Texas time, and then you get into the intraday stuff. You can see how the market changes in behavior, right? Goes from very kind of smooth and docile, gets a little more active, and it gets really busy US. Well, sometimes it's really nice to get in your positions here. You know, remember, that could be going up or down, right? And that's where futures really shine. They just absolutely shine because they allow you to enter at any time. All right, so just consider futures. I'm not giving financial advice. It's just something to think about. It's one more tool in your toolbox. You know, whether you're trading options, whether you're trading stock, you're buying corporate bonds or fixed income, whatever you're doing. Okay, futures, don't be afraid of it. Learn about it. You know, you can open up a futures account, not even trade, or just do a really small micro contract, like, I don't know, trade wheat or corn. It's like super cheap. It's like $150 or $200 or something to trade it. It's nothing. It's like hardly any margin. You get a feel for the market. That's what I used to do. Right, so you want to know how to become a member? Well, I'm glad you asked. In the description right below this video on YouTube is some instructions. Make sure you read them very carefully so that you don't have any problems joining. Then you click on the link. It's going to bring you over to Get a Server. This is the server where all the membership services take place. Then you click on Server Shop right here. It's going to bring you to this page right here. $7.99, guys and gals. Okay, it's just mind-blowing cheap. I mean, you saw everything in this video, right? If you watched yesterday's video, you're going to see even more. Okay, I'm not going to promise you're going to make $1,875. That has a lot to do with your maturity level, has a lot to do with how big your account is, there's a lot that goes into trading. I think last week I made $900 trade. Okay. I think most traders are not patient. If you're patient, you'll make good money. And this $7.99 is going to be, in my opinion, you're not even going to think about it. Okay. I have members that DM me or direct message me and chat with me all the time, and they're making several $100s a day, probably 3 or 4 times a week on pretty small retail accounts. Okay. So they're doing it. They're not thinking about the $7.99. You get streaming charts with the membership. That's a 5-minute, the 15-minute, and the 1-hour chart. Okay, that has that Get Us Plus indicator that I just showed for the trade of the day. That's down here. So if you join, just click on S&P 500 stream, you get the streaming charts. Okay, when the Get Us Plus indicator indicates that there might be a trade, guess what? It sends an alert over to this channel right here, S&P 500 alerts. So what most members do is they just right click on this channel. You'll see in there it says set notifications. You just turn them on, you'll be notified. If it's on your mobile phone, maybe your phone dings, maybe you have it on vibrate. If it's on your laptop or your desktop, same thing. You can have your alerts turned on, your speaker on, you'll hear it ding, okay? And you can go check to see whether or not you want to make a trade. Okay, so that streaming charts synced up with the S&P 500 alerts both happen, okay? Now for the rest of these are just alerts, no streaming charts, but you get alerts on gold, crude oil, top 30 stocks, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ. Some premium symbols go into this channel every night, well, at least Monday through Thursday. After the market, I put premium symbols in there, okay? They're really nice. There's futures in there. There's stocks that are optionable and some other symbols in it that might be of interest to you. I do use that, particularly the futures. Currency, it's a nice channel. Occasionally, I'll trade currency, and if I do, I might put my opinions in there about that. Nightly email goes out every night, Monday through Thursday. So if you're a member or you want to become a member, and you want to get the nightly email, that includes an attachment to the S&P 500 chart and a few sentences of my opinion about what the market is going to be doing, okay? Put your email address in there and you'll start getting the nightly email, okay? Solar activity, yep, believe it or not, I do have a channel for that. That has a lot to do with the universe indicator and the certainty rate. We'll talk about that some other time. These 2 channels are basically just kind of chat. Oh, sorry, I meant these 2 channels right here, member chat and S&P 500. Okay, so all these channels here, everything, including the streaming charts and all that, it's all membership only. You're getting all this for $7.99. Everything I talked about. This channel here is just kind of a hello channel. There's no membership services in there. It's just for people who come into the server and want to, check out the server. They might want to say hello. They might want to say, how do I join? Whatever. Okay. If you're a member already and you have like some support issue, whatever, just click on the member chat. Don't click on the general. Click on the member chat and then I'll get to it. Okay. Please read the rules. This is for members, existing members, and new members. And here is the be nice to everybody else rules. The refund rules are in there. And the disclaimer that I'm not a financial advisor, I'm giving my opinion only. That's in there as well. Okay, so please read the rules. All right, I think that covers everything. So again, click on the link, bring you over to Get a Server, click on Server Shops, brings you here, $7.99. Super cheap, great value. Man, I could probably charge $50 for this service, and I'm pretty sure I'd get people would pay for it because this thing has been banging. October was a huge profitable month. Looks like November was a little bit tougher because the market went bullish on us, and still some money was made. Just the reading it was a little bit harder. But it looks like right now we're going to make some pretty good bank here for at least the next few days going into December 10th, and then we'll follow up and see what the market's going to do after that. One last time, I want to tell the members, if you hung around this long watching the video, there will not be any videos starting tomorrow through December 11th. So the 5th through 11th, no videos, but I'll still put out the nightly email for the members, okay? All right, that's it for now. Happy trading, everybody. God bless everybody. We'll talk to you all real soon again next time.